What I'm going to do right now is take you through all the polls that have come out so far to give you a sense of where directionally the pollsters are suggesting that Delhi has voted. So let's go through the polls, and it's frankly a mixed bag. But largely, as you will see over the next few sheets, that the BJP seems to be in the lead in most of the polls. This is Matriz, 35 to 40 for the BJP. There are 70 seats in Delhi, out of which 32 for 37, according to Matriz, might be won by the Aam Aadmi Party. The Congress could get up to 1. This is Matriz directionally suggesting the BJP in the lead. Let's come to the second pollster we are tracking. This is JVC, suggesting that the BJP could bag between 39 and 45, a comfortable majority for the BJP. The AAP between just 22 and 31, the Congress between 0 and 2. So this is JVC. Let's now look at People's Pulse, which suggests romping victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party, expected to bag between 51 and 60, according to the People's Pulse poll. Aam Aadmi Party between 10 and 19. The Congress in People's Pulse poll is not opening its account. Let's come to the next pollster on your screen now. This is P Mark. Here again, the BJP comfortably in the lead, 39 to 49. So it could be a small victory or a significant victory, but a victory nonetheless for the BJP. Aam Aadmi Party between 21 and 31. Congress between 0 and 1. This is People's Insight. Here again, the BJP quite comfortably in the lead, 40 to 44. Aam Aadmi Party just between 25 and 29. Remember, in the last two polls, 2015 and 2020, the Aam Aadmi Party was decisively in the lead in virtually every single post-poll study. Here, of course, now the situation seems different. This is Chanakya Strategies, BJP 39 to 44, Aam Aadmi Party 25 to 28. This is according to Chanakya Strategies, yet another pollster showing the BJP in the lead. This is Poll Diary, 40 to 50 for the BJP, 18 to 25 for AAP. Let's move to the next pollster. On your screen now, the next pollster we are tracking in this India Today poll of polls, DV Research. Here again, the BJP from just one more than a majority to a comfortable 44. Aam Aadmi Party 26 to 34. So at one level, it could be 34 placed 36, or it could be 26 versus 44. This is V Preside. This is the one pollster that seems to suggest the Aam Aadmi Party is comfortably in the lead. These are the numbers the AAP believes as well. 46 to 52, according to V Preside. BJP between 18 and 23. This is according to V Preside. That's the one pollster which seems to suggest that the Aam Aadmi Party is likely to win. So those were some of the poll of polls that we were tracking. And with this, I now want to introduce all our guests joining us for this broadcast, starting with Rajat Sethi. We've got Rahul Verma over here. Siddharth Mishra joins us, long-time observer of Delhi politics. I have Yashwant Deshmukh joining me, Reena Gupta from the Aam Aadmi Party, and Sanju Verma from the BJP. Sanju would naturally be delighted by the numbers that are currently on the screen. Rajat Sethi, how's the Josh?
Well, clearly, Kejriwal's Josh doesn't seem like to be that high. He would be crestfallen looking at these numbers. If the Delhi story is over for him, I think then his politics and everything that he stood for will be called into question. So I think seriously, the Aam Aadmi Party will get into an existential crisis. Even if Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party is hovering at around 35 in the best case scenario, midway mark, they will not be able to hold on to their flock that easily. Because clearly the facade has fallen, and he's just similar politician.
He's jumping out of the screen. He's so excited already.
I have been saying
waiting for the air. ऐसे नहीं बोल रहे थे आप बोल रहे थे कि ठीक है we are in the fight ऐसे इतना जीतोगे नहीं बोल रहे थे आप
मैं अभी भी बोल रहा हूँ देखिए जहां पर when you look at the prominent leaders of Aam Aadmi Party, they were all holed up in their own constituencies. Sisodia couldn't leave his constituency. Kejriwal couldn't leave New Delhi.
Okay.
These are like early signs which you can read and say that things are tighter than you can imagine. But look at where they started off with. BJP was clearly not going to win this at the outset. Kejriwal had a solid lead of at least 20-25 seats.
As surprised as some BJP supporters looking at these numbers, because initially he thought the BJP Delhi was sleeping and they woke up late. But there are a couple of things I wish to say as we do this poll. This poll from everything that we've been able to gather by traveling out on the field, by speaking to pollsters, strategists, is really a referendum on Arvind Kejriwal. Either people liked him or hated him. This isn't, no matter what the numbers say, this isn't so much the Delhi BJP doing a magical job. It hasn't. This is people either being fed up with Kejriwal or wanting to give Kejriwal another chance. That's really what it is. So no matter what happens on the 8th, if the Delhi BJP leadership suddenly wakes up and says, oh, we are now Superman and He-Man, they're not. If they win because the referendum went against Kejriwal, not because of how bright and sparkful they were. That being said, I want to go across to Yashwant Deshmukh. He's joining us. I'm seeing all these disparate polling agencies, DV Research, P Mark. C-Voter कहाँ है, sir?
C-Voter बहुत समझदारी से अलग है, जानबूझ के
Why
अलग
is
है,
that?
because it's been a long takasir bhaji and takasir khaja, and we don't want to be part of it. We have been maintaining all along, any agency which is giving you the seat share number without giving you the vote share, just discard it. So having said that, what is critical and important for all of us to understand that as a policy decision, Rahul, we have been saying all along, me and you, that we need to focus on the vote share and the demographics where it belongs. So C-Voter will be doing the post poll. It is carrying out the post poll. And we will be here tomorrow on India Today with the numbers, that the demographic. But whatever the numbers in our post poll that I have seen today, I can largely tell you, Rahul, that it has been a very classic, extremely polarized contest of classes, if that would be the right thing to do. Generally, we have seen polarization in terms of religious polarization, communal polarization, but this one is purely on the class in that way. There is low income group, Jhuggi Jhopdi, minority voters, that's on the one side. The middle income group, the colonies on the other side. Extremely polarized in one way or the other. And then there is what shall I say, unprecedented gender divide. Why I say unprecedented? Because yes, we have seen voting on the male and female and the gender lines in Maharashtra, and prior to that, even in Madhya Pradesh. But the gap between male and female voting was not that big as we are witnessing right now. It is like as if the pendulum is switching from one side to the other. Males are just going one way, lock, stock, and barrel, and females are going the other way, lock, stock, and barrel. That kind of situation.
So let me pause you to explain what has really happened. In Delhi, amongst women, the Aam Aadmi Party seems to enjoy a big lead over the BJP. Amongst men, the BJP is in front. The reason that the likes of Vijay Nair, Sandeep Pathak, Arvind Kejriwal, Sisodia, Atishi haven't given up and conceded defeat is because they can see in their data that in women they have a big lead, and therefore they still hope that no matter what happens amongst the male voters, and this has happened in the past, it's happened in Bihar in favor of Nitish Kumar, it's happened in West Bengal in favor of Mamata Banerjee, it happened back in the day with Jayalalitha in Tamil Nadu. Women have helped parties win, even in tough elections. But this kind of a lead, and Yashwant's not the only pollster who's picked that up. Many people who've been polling in Delhi, when I've been speaking to them, they're saying the same thing, that amongst the women voters, Kejriwal leads against the BJP. Rahul Verma, you're looking at this data with no skin in the game. What do you make of what you're reading?
So I think there are two critical questions for Delhi election. One is BJP being able to figure out who are these 15 to 18% voters who vote for them in Lok Sabha elections but desert them during Vidhan Sabha elections, right? It could be both poor voters or it could be middle class voters. To my mind, the change between 2019 and 2020 was much more among middle class voters. Both the turnout data as well as sort of like post-poll surveys indicate that. And so what BJP needed was more sort of like mobilization within the middle class constituencies, but also being able to wean away a section of poor voters. I think they have tried to do both of these things. There is definitely going to be gain gain for the BJP, but whether that gain is going to be around 8 to 9% point swing, which can make them winnable, and what these exit polls are showing, I still will hold my horses on that.
Okay. So he wants to keep his money in his pocket. He's not joining the Satta Bazaar just yet. Siddharth Mishra, Forget the pollsters. You're the pundit on the ground, speaking to people, speaking to voters. What's the sense that you've picked up about who's likely to win?
You see, I am no pundit. I am a poor reporter who goes out in the gullies and the alleys of Delhi and sees what's happening. What the analyst was saying about 18 to middle class voters. You see, Delhi has 34 seats, which has domination of Punjabi and Bania votes. The fact of the matter is these 34 seats in the last poll, BJP won just one, Rohini. Rest all the seats they lost. So if the Punjabis and Banias who vote for Mr. Narendra Modi, if they continue to vote for the BJP in this election, they are through. If they are not voting again for him, they will not be through. Because out of this 34 seats, if the BJP manages to score 24, 25 seats, they will definitely swing the election in their way. But if they can't win these seats, forget about the other seats.
Okay. Yashwant Deshmukh, let's come back because I just want to explain this in context. To my mind, there's a trifecta of issues that will determine what happens. One is the middle class Modi voter who dumps the Delhi BJP, picks Kejriwal. To what extent can the BJP keep him, not lose him? Because remember, amongst a certain section of the middle class is this feeling that we've given Kejriwal a chance. These people keep fighting. BJP won't let Kejriwal work, and therefore, why don't we just give the BJP a chance? At least they'll then be responsible for our lives, our roads, our bridges, infrastructure, and we can then hold them accountable. That's part one. Second is, in the Jhuggis, the slums of Delhi, earlier, the large disproportionate section of vote used to go for the Aam Aadmi Party. This time, the BJP has worked through the RSS, through its own leadership, for more than a year on the ground, and all kinds of things have happened in the Jhuggis in a bid made by the BJP to try and break a part of that Jhuggi vote away. When we traveled through the slum clusters of Delhi, some vote was going away. But then what is the quantity? Is it just 10% going away? Is it 30% going away? If 30 to 40% of the Jhuggi vote breaks, then it's game over for Kejriwal. If it's just 10, 15%, he can deal with that loss. The fact here is that Kejriwal starts from a big lead. He starts 60 plus. BJP starts less than 10, and therefore Kejriwal can afford to slip. He can afford to slip and yet end up on top, But the thing is, generally we've seen, once the momentum turns, it's very difficult to win an election. And remember, for the Aam Aadmi Party, it's largely a borrowed vote. Their own core vote is arguably less than 20%. The rest of the vote comes either from the BJP, middle class kind of vote, or the poor vote, or from the Congress, the traditional Sheila Dikshit Congress vote. So it's largely a borrowed vote, which can potentially be easy come, easy go. Yashwant Deshmukh, give us your interpretation of the data and the change that you saw in the data post Nirmala Sitharaman's tax ops.
Exactly. That's where I was coming to, Rahul, because our last tracker when we went on air was 3 days prior to the poll because of the ECI embargo. And after that, we had the data, both of us discussed it, but unfortunately we could not share it on the screen. And that definitely shows a massive jump of middle class voters for the BJP post-budget. Now, that is one of the sharpest turnarounds of any particular demographic within a gap of 72 hours prior to the election. So obviously, if BJP is looking pretty or giving a good contest to Aam Aadmi Party, that has a large part of that has to do with the turnaround of the middle class voter. However, having said that, so far in our data, we have not seen any dent as far as the bottom of the pyramid voter is concerned, as far as the low income group is concerned, minorities are, we haven't seen so far. We are gonna come up with the data, more data tomorrow as well. I mean, once we finalize the post-poll feedback survey. But the biggest thing that could make or break kind of thing apart from middle class would be the female voters journey. We still haven't got the numbers from Election Commission if the female turnout has jumped significantly or not. Keep an eye on that. If the ECI reports in the final number that female turnout has jumped compared to last time, and the delta between male and turnout and female turnout has dropped significantly, that would be a good news for Aam Aadmi Party. If not, and if the final numbers reveal to you that in the seats which Siddharthji just mentioned, those 30 odd seats where middle class Punjabi, Khatri, that kind of old Delhi numbers are important. If the turnout is healthier on those seats when compared to rest of the seats, then it is going to have a good momentum for the BJP. It's a classical class war. I have never seen these kind of numbers. When you were discussing what happened in 2015 and 2020, Rahul, the numbers were skewed in favor of AAP in these phases, right? But the gap was not, I mean, the contrast was not that big between the gender or between the middle class, and the contrast is now in double digit. Each and every block that you pick up, the gap is in double digit either this way or that way. And that is very unprecedented of sort, and we haven't come across that kind of. So we'll continue with the post poll tomorrow as well, and tomorrow evening we'll come up with a much more definitive numbers.
Okay, I want to go across now and get some political perspective. Reena Gupta of the Aam Aadmi Party is with us. You know, the polls converge on one trend. AAP is going down, BJP is going up. You know, AAP could come down somewhat and still win, or AAP could crash. That's the range of the polls. But is that, how troublesome is that from the AAP's lens? That yes, women have voted for AAP in big numbers and that gives you hope and strength. But all the polls say you're coming down, your opponents are going up.
Rahul, I'm a founding member of the Aam Aadmi Party. I have participated in 4 polls and exit polls in Delhi. Any exit poll, be it the 2013, 2015, 2020, has always shown us less than from what we finally get. So it's going to be the same in this exit poll. I've spent the whole day on the ground, and Delhiites have come out in unprecedented numbers, voted for Aam Aadmi Party. Anywhere across Delhi you go, be it the women voters, be it the men, everybody has voted for Aam Aadmi Party. And Arvind Kejriwal ji is going to become the chief minister the 4th time around. People are saying, why change something that is not broken? बढ़िया काम किया है, हमने बहुत बढ़िया शानदार इलेक्शन कैंपेन रन किया. But I can say one thing, this is my 4th election campaign in Delhi. I have not seen this level of gundagardi, this level of breaking all the rules, and the election commission turning a blind eye in the capital of the country. They were trying to slow down elections. Bharatiya Janata Party goons were trying to create ruckus in so many booths, but still the Aam Aadmi Party voters waited patiently and they voted. And
Sanju Verma, is this something we'll hear a lot of on the 8th of February once the results come out? If the BJP wins, the AAP will allege that this is hooliganism by your cadre. The EC was on your side, the Delhi police was on your side, you didn't let their people vote, there was double checking, triple checking, long queues. You brought your own voter out and you tried to stop the AAP voter from voting. How do you respond to this charge that if you win, you won unfairly and unjustly?
You know, Rahul, Hindi में कहावत है, अंगूर नहीं मिले तो अंगूर खट्टे होते हैं. I did not heckle. I don't know why I'm getting this background music from the Aam Aadmi Party panelists. I did not interject her. थोड़ा शांत हो जाओ मैडम. अभी तो आपको बहुत रोना है आगे चल के. रोना धोना अभी 8th के लिए रखिए संभाल के. आज सारा रोना धोना खत्म मत करिए. Now keep quiet and listen to what I have to say. Rahul Kanwal asked me the question. Thank you. So first and foremost, let me.
अच्छा, आप भी थोड़ा सोच के बोलो. संजू जी, रिजल्ट नहीं आया, अभी तो सिर्फ पोल ही आया है. With that in mind, go on, make your point. Yes.
Rahul, come on. You know, I would like to, play on the front foot. That's how I am. 8th को जो होगा देखा जाएगा. If I'm proven wrong, you can have a gun to my head and ask me the toughest questions. And if we win, then you can congratulate me and I will humbly accept your good wishes. But be that as it may, let's come to the moot point. Let's get one thing very, very clear. That, if you look at the broad spectrum of cephologists who have gone wrong, they went wrong in the Chhattisgarh analysis, they went wrong with Haryana, they went wrong with Maharashtra. But our cephologists के बारे में बात नहीं करते हैं. जो आंकड़े हैं उनको prima facie, let's take them on the face value. Basically, most pollsters are saying that the average for BJP will be 35 to 40 seats with a vote share of 46%. I'm talking of average. Pollsters say Aam Aadmi Party will be in the range of 32 to 37 seats with a vote share of 44%. Congress का तो खैर पूरी तरह से सुपड़ा साफ है. It's nowhere in the equation. maybe 0 to 2 seats at best with a vote share of 7 to 8%. So the first point that I'm trying to make is that Aam Aadmi Party has seen its vote share slide dramatically. It's no longer 53 or 54 or 55%. They will be well below 50%. They will be lucky to even get 46% vote share. And as I've always been saying, even a 4 or a 5% jump in vote share for BJP will increase BJP's chances dramatically. And that is exactly what is happening now. Don't forget in the 2020 elections, Rahul, you know this better than any of us. You've been doing threadbare analysis. There were 38 seats considered as low-hanging fruit. In these 38 out of these 70 seats last time, BJP had a solid vote share of 40%. 17 out of these 38 seats, BJP was behind Aam Aadmi Party in terms of vote share by only 4 to 5%. And I've always maintained that it is these 38 seats, it is these 17 low-hanging fruits which are going to capitalize, in a big way in terms of deciding who the final winner will be and who will cross the finishing line. But इस बार तो लग रहा है that Arvind Kejriwal is not just going to face a humiliating defeat. He is going to be wiped out. And I will end by saying one thing. I remember as a kid, and I'm sure all of us do, there's this famous poem, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Not all the king's men, not all the king's horses could put Humpty Dumpty together again. So, यहाँ पर Humpty Dumpty is Kejriwal. Not all the Rohingyas, not all the Bangladeshi घुसपैठियास could put Muffler Man together again. तो इस बार ₹2 का रेनॉल्ट पेन, ₹100 की नीली बुशक और खा वो जो आर्टिफिशियल खांसी है. People have seen through the charlatan that Arvind Kejriwal is.
Sanju Verma has declared victory. She says these exit polls are final. So what if the pollsters got a couple of polls wrong? Ye wala theek hoga. Okay, but let's just spend a moment talking about the third spoke in the Delhi wheel, which is the Congress party, Rahul Verma. And the Congress, which was about 4.5% last time, there's a big difference. And let's just, if we get into the numbers in a slightly deeper fashion, whether the Congress ends up at 6 or 7 or whether the Congress ends up between 8, 10 and more is also very crucial. Yes. The closer Congress comes to 10, the more trouble it is for Reena and her party. The closer they are to 4.5, 5, 6, the easier it is for Kejriwal. The extent to which amongst the Muslims, amongst the Dalits, amongst the Jugis, Congress has been able to pull some of the AAP vote away will be very significant in determining the final tally.
Absolutely. But it also depends on where is Congress party picking up its vote.
Okay.
If Congress party is picking up votes in seats where AAP had won more than 20% margin, then it won't make a difference to AAP's tally. But there are some 25 or 27 seats where the gap between BJP and AAP was less than 10%. If Congress picks up vote there, then most of those votes are likely to come from AAP, and that will make the election very, very competitive. But I would still say it doesn't mean that BJP will start sort of like converting those seats on its own. Maybe the seats which are in the 5% margin, and those are just 10 or 11 seats. So BJP is on the upsurge. There is no doubt about it. Whether the upsurge is that BJP can itself win 30, 35, 40 seats, I think that is the question.
No, but Rajat, there is also what is typically called the winning bandwagon effect. In the poll that Yashwant put out just before the EC deadline came into place, around 22% of the voters said they would decide on the last day. And that's where mahal matters. If you start figuring out that party X is winning, a lot of these last-minute swing voters decide to latch on to that party, which is what the BJP will be hoping for, that they were able to spread enough of a mahal that they are winning, that they would be able to attract the last-minute voter, which is why Kejriwal was saying, make us win in such a big fashion that even if the BJP tries to skew the EC and the Delhi police, we are still winning. So Kejriwal needs to win really big. Kejriwal needs to bat like Abhishek Sharma, and the BJP can bat slightly slower and still hope to win.
Well, your moot question around bandwagon effect, I think if the election is so tight, and most of the psephologists till the very last minute were barely saying that certain seats are like 20 odd seats are going neck and neck, I don't see bandwagon effect coming in. Therefore,
You don't see bandwagon.
I don't see
Why
bandwagon.
not?
I don't see any wave in favor of either the BJP or the Aam Aadmi Party. I am seeing a solid outreach based on the organizational strength of the AAP and of the BJP. Both these parties have done whatever they could in their playbook to actually go out and literally sit in the drawing rooms of the voters, try and convince them, beg before them, and try and convince them. And that's what has been the strategy. So whatever polling share that you will see, whatever ground mobilization you will see that this will reflect in both the party strategies of literally pulling out voters out of the household.
So just at this moment, we don't know who won, but two things, Yashwant, are very clear, that there is a very stark class divide. The moment and there's a very stark gender divide. The moment there's a very stark class divide, there are far more poor people than there are non-poor people. That gives the AAP strategy strength, that if they've kept the poor vote together, and they've got the women vote, that's a very strong reason to win. So Rajat Sethi can speak to people like himself and several others and think, okay, the BJP is winning. But if you've got the poor and the women on your side, which is why Kejriwal's not giving up. He says, boss, on the 8th, I will...
It's a bigger class, by the way, in Delhi. Poor are not the bigger class. In Delhi, middle class is a bigger class.
It depends on how you define middle class.
But can I counter argue to say that amongst the middle class, the propensity to vote is not as high as amongst the poor. The poor go out and vote en masse, and the middle class doesn't necessarily vote as en masse on one side as the poor do. So the Juggi cluster has been a strong backer of the Aam Aadmi Party. The BJP's hope is that we've split some of those Juggi votes and we've got some Juggi votes coming our way. If that calculation is correct, it will be a landslide for the BJP on the 8th. The question is, has that calculation happened, or has, as the likes of Vijay Nair, Sandeep Pathak and AAP strategists would want to believe, a class war broken out in Delhi between the reasonably well-to-do and the not well-to-do at all?
No, Rahul, when the class war breaks and, the relative turnout then matters a lot. What Rajat said has a lot of merit to it, that eventually it was a battle of RSS versus the AAP cadre on the ground, basically pulling out their own support bases. I was just trying to analyze a lot on the turnout numbers, on the district level turnout numbers that so far we have got for 5 p.m. and I could sense that there is above more than, let's say, better than the average turnout in the districts which has a sizable Dalit and sizable Muslim population. But at the same time, the urban middle class pockets have also seen an uptick of turnout, which means that the BJP strongholds have also come out in big number. Now, what does that tell us? We could also see a very classic scene on 8 where BJP wins a significant number of seats with really huge margins, and Aam Aadmi Party also ends up winning significant seats with very huge margins, because of the demographics at play. And eventually it will boil down to, say, roughly about 10 to 15 seats, which will keep on seesawing this way or that way, where the real battle would arise. The thing is, with all these numbers and all said and done, in the last few elections, the ground mobilization of the BJP, particularly after the Lok Sabha election, has been so significant that Sanju Verma has had the last laugh in rubbing my nose, particularly on that data, that, hua kya ant mein Haryana mein, hua kya ant mein Maharashtra mein, and that's where I go for a toss, because, no matter what numbers will say, at the end of the day, it is the grassroots level of mobilization which matters. The only difference, Rahul, is unlike Haryana Congress, unlike Maharashtra opposition, the capacity of Aam Aadmi Party to mobilize and counter mobilization of the BJP is equally strong, if not more than the RSS and the BJP network, which Rajat rightly mentioned. It is not that the Aam Aadmi Party is not Congress of Haryana. Let's be very clear about that.
I think you make an important point that no matter what happens on the 8th, I think you have to give the AAP credit to that Mishra for fighting as much as they could. Kejriwal was as Machiavellian as he could have been in the campaign. He ran circles around the BJP in terms of setting the narrative with his limited resources. He really gave it his all. I think Rajat also made that point. I think that's a fair point. Win or lose, the Aam Aadmi Party, you can't take away from the fact that they gave it their best shot.
Yeah, I have reservations about the point with his limited resources. His resources are definitely not limited in the poll. Number one. Number two, there's a misconception about the poor voting for the Aam Aadmi Party. In the last elections, in the 8 seats that BJP won, there was just one middle class seat. The rest of the two, Vishwas Nagar. Rest 6 seats came from the areas where the poor prevailed, the minority, the Dalit. So those seats were won. So it's not that simple in Delhi. Number one, number two, the Kejriwal's voters have remained more loyal to him than BJP's voters. That also has to be seen. It is the BJP voter who swings from the Lok Sabha polls to the Vidhan Sabha polls. It is not Kejriwal's voters. They are remaining stable, whether they are voting for Congress or for Kejriwal in the last alliance. So that's why BJP has to protect its voters, and it's not Kejriwal who has to really protect his voters. The challenge is for the BJP to hold on to its voters. That's the important. And regarding the Congress point of view, which was made by my colleague here on the panel, you see, Congress has this time played it is banking on the candidate. It is not really banking on the party program or party this thing. So if these candidates are able to perform good, no credit should be given to Mr. Rahul Gandhi or Ms. Priyanka Gandhi, because they, left the campaign in between, they came back.
No, but the Congress there, Yashwant.
You see, just wanted to add a point to it. These are the people, these candidates, if you look at their profile, they have been members, 3-term, 4-term MLAs. And this time, during the COVID lockdowns, these people were actually got very, very active in these localities. When the government had failed, when there was no presence of any relief, these people, like Anil Kumar in Patpatganj, Mukesh Sharma in Uttam Nagar, such people, they created their own relief camps and companies. So that goodwill, it is whatever performance Congress does in this election, it is the goodwill of the candidates.
But there at the macro level, Rahul Verma, the Congress seems to have decided that Aam Aadmi Party is the bigger threat. Let's knock Kejriwal down first. ये BJP से बाद में निपटेंगे. Give them 5 years. By then we will regroup. That's the calculation, and we'll deal with BJP. First, let's get rid of Kejriwal. That seems to be the theory. They're saying, okay, इसने हमें गुजरात में डुबाया, हम इसको डुबाते हैं.
That's very true.
हरियाणा में भी डुबाया है. हरियाणा में भी.
No, but whether they lost because of Kejriwal or not, we don't know. But basically, there was infighting, and then Kejriwal made life tough. But they basically, you can't take away the fact that the Congress has decided Kejriwal is enemy number one, bring him down first, we'll deal with the BJP later.
Well, I don't know whether Congress made an active decision on this, given what happened.
There was a divide between Delhi Congress and the AICC on this.
Yes, I think there was more of that Delhi Congress sort of like pushing back to this idea that if we want to remain alive as a unit in the state, one, we need to contest rather than get into an alliance. If they would have got into an alliance, they wouldn't have got respectable number of seats. And two, the only way you could sort of like remain a party competitive is by basically attacking the incumbent. And so it's not, I think, the idea that, oh, let BJP win. I think for them to be able to have a presence is to basically get the voter base which AAP has got, because Congress voter base in terms of class would be poor, in terms of religion would be Muslim, right? And if you want to get those sort of like voters together, you have to attack AAP.
No, but this potentially has, Reena Gupta, consequences for Punjab as well. Why it's also important for the Congress, for AAP to lose, is because then it sets up the Congress as the natural opposition to AAP in the next Punjab elections, which wouldn't have happened otherwise. And therefore, are you concerned that if saffron shines on the 8th, like a lot of these exit polls are predicting, that while your government in Punjab has a big majority, it will be under siege from here till 27?
Rahul, I'm very sure, and let's not forget what the exit polls were saying before during the Lok Sabha elections. What does Sanju Verma have to say for that when they were predicting, some exit polls were giving 300, 400 seats to Bharatiya Janata Party. Let's wait for the 8th. I am 100% sure that we are forming the government. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is becoming the Chief Minister for the 4th time. And history will repeat itself in Punjab also. In Punjab, we've done amazing work. And neither the Congress nor the Akalis, nobody else can give a fight to Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab as well. And in Delhi, it's very clear the Congress has no Sangathan, it has no leaders. It was so difficult for Congress to even find people who were ready to contest on the Congress ticket on the 70 seats. So the people of Delhi have voted for Kaam Ki Rajniti. We will all be here on your TV program on the 8th. And Aam Aadmi Party will be forming the government. Mr. Arvind Kejriwal will again become the Chief Minister of Delhi. And we will continue to work for the people of Delhi, continue to talk about Kaam Ki Rajniti. We will continue to bring Congress and Bharatiya Janata Party on our pitch and have them match our programs, our vision, our manifesto. I'm very happy with the campaign.
Sanju Gupta,
we did not let
the biggest hope that AAP strategists, AAP pollsters have is that women have voted for Kejriwal. Sanju Verma. That women have voted for the Aam Aadmi Party and for Arvind Kejriwal. That gives AAP the biggest hope. Usually in many states, women have been strong backers of the BJP, and we'll see this when the post-poll studies come out, when the data comes out. Women disproportionately choosing AAP over BJP. What do you make of that trend?
Rahul, first and foremost, let me give out a disclaimer. When I made the initial comment about psephologists getting it wrong, it was not a dig at Yashwant Deshmukh. I have tremendous amount of respect for him. And I do understand, this is a tough domain. You have some wins and you have some losses. But let me make the larger point. The larger point is this, Rahul. You very conveniently, and I have a lot of respect for you too. You asked me, Sanju Verma, what about the Aam Aadmi Party saying that, election commission aapke saath hai, police aapke saath hai, but for once, I would like you to ask the Aam Aadmi Party, why is it that, Kejriwal promised 1,000 mohalla clinics, jisme se 500 band pade hain, they have turned into waste dump yards. He kept talking about 12 lakh jobs that he created. The Rozgar Bazaar 2.0 portal opened in 2022. Within 3 months, it shut down. And if you were not able to register people on the portal, then how on earth did you even create those 12 lakh jobs that you keep speaking about at every available opportunity? You said you will open 50 smog towers in Delhi. You opened 2, one in Connaught Place and one
campaign
in
khatam ho gaya. Sanju ji, the campaign is over.
Let me finish. Let me make the point. Just bear with me for a minute because, I did not interject anyone. मुझे ताज्जुब इस बात का होता है that anchors have never failed to ask BJP ahead of Haryana, ahead of Maharashtra, ahead of Rajasthan Assembly elections, में performance क्या है? BJP आएगी तो क्या करेगी? आपने तो हरियाणा में ये नहीं किया. आपकी एकनाथ शिंदे वाली जो गठबंधन था उसने तो फलाना नहीं किया. एंड उत्तर प्रदेश में तो योगी आदित्यनाथ ने ये नहीं किया before 2022. I'm surprised. Today the anchors, instead of saying that Kejriwal has not delivered, he promised the moon. He failed to deliver, be it mohalla clinics, be it good roads, be it clean air, be it cleaning up the Ghazipur landfill.
Okay, I don't know which anchors you're talking about, but I suggest that you watch the Jab We Met that we did with Manish Sisodia.
No, I watched that. Let me finish. I watched that Jab We Met of yours. It was a very interesting one, and I couldn't help being amused.
We are all waiting for the bullet trains and the smart cities and the 22 crore jobs.
Rahul, I did not heckle her.
Reena, let us speak. Sanju, complete your argument very quickly, please.
Yeah. Quickly, let me just say this. That, एक हिंदी में कहावत है, मिल सके आसानी से उसकी ख्वाहिश किसे है, मिल सके आसानी से उसकी ख्वाहिश भला किसे है, जिद तो उसकी है जो मुकद्दर में लिखा ही नहीं है, जिद तो उसकी है जो मुकद्दर में लिखा ही नहीं है. BJP put up a brilliant fight when nobody gave us even a fig leaf of a chance, saying अरे दिल्ली बीजेपी में तो सीएम का चेहरा नहीं है, अरे दिल्ली बीजेपी में तो संगठन नहीं है, अरे संगठन नहीं है.
Reena Gupta, what poetry can you come up with? Counter her with poetry, Irshad. Reena ji, Irshad.
Kejriwal is wiped out.
जो सपना 26 साल से पूरा नहीं हुआ, वो सपना इस बार भी पूरा नहीं होने वाला है. भारतीय जनता पार्टी का मुख्यमंत्री दिल्ली में 26 साल से नहीं बना.
मैं समझ सकती
हूँ कि संजू वर्मा को कितना बुरा लग रहा है, लेकिन अब भी सपना नहीं पूरा होगा. 5 साल और मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी, दिल्ली के लोगों के लिए काम करना पड़ेगा.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay, now Yashwant Deshmukh, You know, you've given us lots of ifs and buts. Before I end, ये बताओ जीत कौन रहा है, sir?
नहीं सर, ये बिल्कुल नहीं बताऊंगा मैं.
Everybody has this Mogambo-like laughter. I'm not understanding what's happening. I'm asking you who's winning. ये बताओ. You have this like evil Bollywood kind of laughter.
बिल्कुल नहीं.
अरे शर्माइए नहीं आप लोग. बोलिए आम आदमी पार्टी जीत रही है. क्यों शर्मा रहे हैं आप लोग?
I am enjoying the show. I am enjoying the fact Takasir Bhaji, Takasir Khaja wali list में अपना नाम नहीं है. I mean, we are keeping away. We will talk about the real numbers which matter the most in research tomorrow. And yes, it is going to be a keen battle. And after a long time, I guess that we are looking forward to a counting day where, real fun would be there for all of us. That's what I'm looking forward to.
That I agree with. Because in the last couple of elections... हो गया आपका टाइम. और 8th को बोलो. अच्छा बोलो.
Can I take 10 seconds?
Okay, 10 seconds.
I just want your audience to know one thing. When we lost Karnataka, I was on your show. Not once did I cast aspersions at the credibility of the election commission. When we lost Himachal, हमने हाथ जोड़ के बोला हमसे गलती हो गई, and the overall number of votes that we fell short of were just 37,794. We lost Himachal elections with an overall margin of just 37,794 votes. पर हमने कभी हिमाचल की जनता को, इलेक्शन कमीशन को गालियां नहीं दी. That is what the opposition fails to realize. Wake up and smell the coffee. Don't behave like a bunch of sore losers. And don't play the victim card.
Okay, here's the thing, Rahul Verma. The last couple of elections were so one-sided in Delhi, which is what makes Super Saturday the 8th so exciting. That there is a real, no matter who says what. If any BJP leader says it's a slam dunk, I can guarantee after having spoken to the senior most leaders, they're hoping to win, but they still know the women factor is there, and that may go against them. That may be the reason that Kejriwal wins. They think they're winning, but they're still anxious. The AAP has hope, the BJP has hope. The ball's really up in the air at the Arun Jaitley Stadium.
Absolutely. In some ways, this election could turn out to be like 2013 election, because that was another election where no party won single-handedly.
You think that could happen?
It is very much possible. And to my mind, I think of it like BJP has a challenge in Delhi, because except 93 election, BJP has never won outrightly in Delhi, got majority for its own. So there is some kind of sort of like arithmetic that BJP is not able to figure out for itself in Delhi Assembly. They get in Lok Sabha because the elections become national. And they were doing that even during Sheila Dikshit's time. That they won, I think, the 99 election, Lok Sabha election, right? So there is something that BJP needs to, like, there is a magic thing that BJP needs.
But, you know, I disagree with you in the sense that if the BJP were on the ticket, then what you're saying is right. My argument is it's Kejriwal on the ticket. You either love him or you hate him. Either you want to give him another chance or you want the guy out. That is what the BJP is hoping. It's not the BJP local candidate who's winning. That guy doesn't matter.
This is the most important thing. And, you know, this got reflected, numbers aside. Look at the body language of the Aam Aadmi Party, topmost leaders, the spokespersons over the last 10 days. Something started changing. And I think this was where BJP really gotten hold of the narrative very strongly. It said that we need to only go after the civic issues in Delhi. Let's not digress.
But look at how much time they wasted on Sheesh Mahal and on corruption.
And you know,
उनको बाद में समझ में आया कि sewage बोलो, सड़क बोलो, pollution बोलो.
So they kept taking. By the way, this is where BJP is good. They actually keep collecting the feedback, and you know they reached out to all of us and said that is corruption an issue, and a lot of the feedback went in that this is not having traction. गरीब को कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता Sheesh Mahal है नहीं है. I think this is where they changed the course. They went into typical governance issues and they exposed the spokespersons of Aam Aadmi Party.
See,
and their body language changed
we
henceforth.
Still have figures of 5 o'clock of polling figures. If this polling percentage goes up above around 65, 66. So that's going to be, you know, a big swing in way of either of the party. It's not going to be a keenly contested election.
No, it is a very keenly contested.
No, as when it matter
it
of
won't
seats.
be tight. No, yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. You know, this whole, the pollsters were saying 35, 36. They're the ones who are in jeopardy in my mind. It'll be a much cleaner victory.
Much cleaner victory.
But nonetheless, let's just hold the panditry for a while because that can often be very deadly. What we'll do is we'll do commentary. We don't have to predict who's won. We can just comment on the match for the way things stand at this moment. We are getting set, ladies and gentlemen.
Who do you think will win, Rahul? Who do
Super
you think
Saturday.
will win?
Anji?
Who do you think will win? As
ना
a
ना मैं ऐसे थोड़ी बताता हूँ.
as a
अरे
citizen.
ऐसे थोड़ी होता है.
Not as an anchor, as a Delhi citizen.
No. My job
Who do you
is
think
to
will
do
win?
commentary. I leave my biases outside the studio when I come in. So I come in and I try and do as thorough a job as I can do on the basis of objective data. That's really our focus. Everybody has likes and dislikes. We try and leave them outside the studio. And we leave it to the voters of Delhi to decide who they want should win. For joining us tonight, thank you very much. Super Saturday awaits. That's what you need to look out for. It will be a humdinger. And I want you to join us early in the morning come Saturday. Bye.